There were times and people that used to tell me that I wouldn't make it, but here I am today, enjoying by the grace of God. So no matter what you do, always believe in yourself, because guess what? If 50 people tell you that you cannot make it, prove those 50 wrong.
Hey everyone, it's Neffy Anderson here with a brand new episode of The Path Less Traveled. Today's guest is comedian, actor, director, musician, Majah Hype. Now, let me give you the scoop on Majah Hype. Majah Hype is one of social media's fastest growing comedians. He's most known for creating and performing West Indian comedy skits. And I know what you're saying, right? Oh, I already got my favorite Jamaican that I watch. He covers stuff for the Haitians, the Trinidadians, the Guyanese out there, everybody. But let me tell you what I love most about him. With a social following of over like 400,000 people, he uses his platform to show his versatility and to unify the Caribbean community. So it is my pleasure to be here to interview you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Definitely, it's a privilege to be here. It's basically God's, plan.
Basically God's plan. All right. So don't feel free to let one of your characters out during the interview. You don't got to suppress yourself.
Don't worry, I'm never suppressed.
All right. So let's take it to the beginning. Tell me about how you came up with the name for yourself, because most comedians, they use their government name. So how'd you come up with Majah Hype?
My name basically started from DJing.
Okay.
I was a DJ before I indulged in comedian and being a comic.
Right.
The name just transcended over into being a comic. But I've been doing a lot of things before I jumped into comedy.
I know. A lot of things. Rattle a few off. Don't even gotta go into detail.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop you at the one I want to learn more about.
All right. Well, I started first being a musician, playing 7 instruments. Then I ventured over into singing. Then after that, I started DJing. DJed for many amount of years, and then I started doing comedy, which I'm doing now.
Now you skipped one that I wanted to ask more about. There was a 6-figure one.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
9 to 5 days.
Yeah, the 9 to 5 days.
Well, before I started my own company, I took the leap of faith and left a job that I was doing, making 6 figures. I was working as an electrician, a certified electrician for local 147, which is the Sandhogs, which is MTA, and it's a very dangerous job. We're about 700 feet underground.
Oh.
Building brand new tunnels for the LIRR and mass transit and stuff like that. So I've been doing that for about 6-7 years, and then I got laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And during the ending timing of me, before I got laid off, I was doing the videos. 2013, I just started like September. I was doing Labor Day videos and stuff. Who truck is bigger? Who truck is better? Stuff like that. And I noticed that the following started to climb.
Right.
And being a comedian was something that I've always been anyway, naturally. You know what I'm saying? That was just my personality.
Right.
So, moving on into building up and doing these different characters and stuff like that, and I noticed that the followers was growing rapidly.
Right.
So when they called me back to go back to work, I declined going back to work, and I decided to, pursue my career and do what I love. And
that must have felt good.
Not really.
No, he's like, no.
Not really. I mean, it felt good knowing that, people appreciated what I was doing, but it was almost like a stab in the dark, because you don't know where's the next dollar coming from.
Right.
You don't, what I mean? You leave something that's secure for something that you're not too sure about. It was a leap of faith, like I said. So, but God has been good, to us, and we started our own corporation.
Right.
Hype Media and Films, and we just took it from there, and people started calling for hosting and do you do stand-up and stuff like that. So
and the answer is yes, you do everything.
I definitely wanted to take on the challenge of stand-up, because I've growing up, I always watched people like Red Fox, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Richard Pryor. You know, so those were people who I not idolized, but I looked up to. You
Right.
know, it was like, you know, people who I would always, you know, favored, because it takes a lot. I mean, when you're a singer, you have music playing in the background.
Right.
So if you mess up, the music could always shadow that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're a DJ, you always got the fader that you could just throw it on the other side and nobody really notices unless it was a very bad mess up, but the party still continues.
Right.
Being a public speaker, such as a comedian, because I think that the comedy genre of entertainment is one of the hardest things to conquer, because for one, you have to speak in public, which is one of the most feared things
Right.
in the human, you know, existence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then on top of speaking in person, you have to make people laugh. So, you know, it was a challenge for me, but I always knew that I had it because I always made people laugh amongst ourselves, you know, and stuff like that. So,
You know what? I'm going to stop you right there. So I know that you've always been an entertainer,
right.
you know, as early as 5 years old. But confidence was something that you struggled with. How did you break that barrier?
Growing up, especially in a West Indian home, and growing up, you know, in a Caribbean home and stuff like that, you get a lot of, like, family members that'll tease you.
Yeah.
Oh, look your big nose, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean, stuff like that. You know what I mean, and that played a role in my life where, you know, I was always the one to be joked on.
Right.
And I think that's where the comedic side came in too, because I always wanted to get back at whoever had that joke. So I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow they joke on me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a joke ready. You know what I mean? And that helped out a lot with the confidence and stuff like that. And then, you know, I started realizing that people was taken to the stuff that I was saying, and they was laughing, and you know what I mean, it was really funny and stuff like that. So like I said, growing up and having my own family too, you know what I mean, and becoming a man, you know, helped break the confidence barrier. And you know, it's just a reassurance of who you are, you know, and who God created, and knowing that God don't make any mistakes, you know what I mean?
Oh, I love that. Just say that again. Just look at the camera. Tell the people that one more time.
Just knowing that God doesn't make any mistakes.
Amen. So talk to me about the opportunities that you created for yourself that led to your big break.
The opportunities basically was, you know, taking advantage of social media and stuff like that. I always had a Facebook, always had an Instagram, you know, I always had a YouTube, but I used my YouTube for my music mostly. I was producing music and stuff like that, getting acquainted with a lot of different artists and stuff like that. And we started to work together. I produced a lot of music for different artists such as Egyptian, Taurus Riley, Future Fambo, you know.
All of our favorites.
Yeah, me and Lyrical did some work early in his early career, you know, the stages of his career. Also, it's just a number of artists, you know what I mean, and we build a relationship, you know what I mean. And taking advantage of social media is everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care what you're doing. You know, if you want to succeed and be successful in the things that you're doing, then you got to take advantage of all your platforms.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I tell that to people all the time because they're like, oh, but you know, like I'm an accountant or I'm a teacher.
You know what it is? A lot of people tend to do stuff and
Right.
expect people to
like find out.
them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, people that happens, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It happens at times, but it's not for everybody. You still got to put in hard work. You know, a lot of people might feel like, oh, this guy blew up overnight. It was never overnight. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was days and days and days of making videos, and you know, like I tell people all the time, I feel like I'm one of the most hardworking social media comedians. You know, I don't classify myself as a social media comedian because I just feel like
you don't want to box yourself in.
I'm more than just a social comedian.
Right.
I'm a stand-up comedian. You know, I do skits. I do, you know, stuff on Instagram. So you know, it's way further than social media. But everybody knows me from social media. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's harder to transition over into stand-up because it's just a total different ball game. When we started to grow as doing, you know, the stuff on Instagram and stuff, it's much harder for me because I do all different accents.
Yes.
So it's like I gotta do 5 different, 6 different, 7 different videos. Meanwhile, the other comedian that's just representing one nationality could do one video and that's it.
Right.
His day is done.
Right.
You know what I mean? You do that one video, oh, Jamaican girls be like,
yeah,
or Trinidadian girls be like, and that's it. You're done. That's it for
right.
the day. I gotta do Jamaican girls be like, Guyanese girls be like, Trinidadian girls be like, Barbadian girls be like, you know, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Haiti, you know, all of these different, yeah. So and I even step out of the realm and do Africa and Spanish and Indian and stuff like that because I feel like I don't want to be boxed in, like you said, just to being a Caribbean comic.
Right. Talk to me about what you did to deliberately brand yourself.
To deliberately brand myself, I had to change the formula from what the rest of the people were doing. You know what I mean? Some people were doing just Jamaica, some people were doing just Trinidad, and I felt like, you know, what happened to the rest of the Caribbean?
Right.
Everybody needs somebody to represent them, so I'm just gonna represent everybody.
I love it.
You know what I mean? So I represented everybody to my best ability. You know what I mean? And the way I really wanted to separate myself from everybody was by building my characters. You know what I mean? Because when I first started, I had skits. It was like a soap opera.
Right.
You know, you watch something today, and then tomorrow was the ongoing, you know, sequel to what was happening the next day and the next day and the next day, which I created Peter from Grenada, Ainsley from Barbados, and Colin from Guyana and stuff, and so on and so on. And then I introduced 2 new characters, which was the Ross and Grandpa James, and people just loved them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And from there, I felt like they needed to do a show together. They ended up doing a show together. Then they ended up having their own shows. You know what I mean? Then I just know that when you're doing something, you don't want to overdo it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I stopped doing the skits for a little while and started doing like regular program shows and stuff like that. And I just know that people get tired of stuff quickly.
Right.
So I just always kept adding on different characters, you know.
And we don't get tired. We love it. I tune in all the time, especially on Fridays.
Definitely. That does piss me off. You know, you got Sister Sandrine, which is a new person.
Yes.
You know, you had Bragadap and Officer Sellout already. You know, you had Binoculars. You had so many different characters that I've created, you know what I mean, and that was successful. You had Adam, the West Indian Watcher.
I love, so most of the characters that you have like, you know, you have some props. Now, did you think that out, or like did that come eventually? Like, did you just have the beard lying around and the dreads lying around?
Nah. I always wanted, when I started doing the characters, I always figured that being that it's only me in the videos,
right?
I want people to feel, in a sense, that it's a different person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had to create a whole different look for myself. And the Ross, you know, big beard, long dreads.
His beard don't even match though, and that's a part of what makes it funny.
That's the funny part about it.
He got a brown beard.
He got a brown beard and black dreads, so you know what I mean. It was just comedy in itself.
And you can't tell him nothing.
Oh yeah, definitely. He curses me out too.
Oh my
you
goodness.
know what I mean?
So what would you say is one part about your journey that most people don't know?
I would probably say behind the scenes. You know what I mean? A lot of people, when you're a comedian, people expect you to always be happy and cheerful. You know what I mean? And which I am, because you know once you wake up, you know you have life. You know you continue going.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I mean the minor issues behind the scenes and stuff. There'll be times I'll be stressed out. You know what I mean? But when you go outside and you see a fan, there's no being stressed out. There's always smiles and handshakes and thank you for, you know, watching my videos, and I appreciate it, you know, and God bless you and stuff like that. But deep down inside, they would know what I'm really, truly, honestly going through as any human being is.
Right. In between your posts of your comedy and then like the events and stuff that you go to or promote, you talk a lot about God and having faith. Talk to me a little bit more about your spirituality. Have you always been that way? It's so inspiring.
For me, I grew up in a home where you couldn't sleep past 8 o'clock on Sunday. You had to be in Sunday school.
Okay.
And you had to be in young people meeting. You had to be at, prayer meeting. You had to be at all these events, you know what I mean? And although we found trouble to get into, you know what I mean? Like my grandfather would give us money for the offering box, and if he give us $2, we spending $1 out of that, at the store. But I mean, I've always grew up in that home where it was a religious base, and I don't really want to say religious because religious is part of the reason why religion is part of the reason why there's so many different wars and stuff going on taking place today. But I'm confident in who I believe in, and I believe in God. You know what I mean? I think people put too many names on who he is and fight for a name when you should just be praising the creator himself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've always, and I'm a firm believer because I'm a witness of things that took place differently in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was a time when I was down and out. I didn't know what my next move was going to be. I was broke. I didn't have nothing. You know what I mean? And I started praying and, giving back time to God, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And my life made a complete U-turn.
So talk to me about your last career low and how you bounced back from that, because the message that we want to get out is that you are going to have career lows, but you can and you will bounce back.
Well, my last career low, I would probably say when I left a sound system that I was playing and did my solo thing. It was a good career, but it wasn't a lucrative career. You know what I mean? And people gotta realize the difference between having fame and having wealth. You know what I mean? And fame is one thing. You don't want to be that famous, popular dude that still lives down the block from everybody else.
Right.
You want to be that person that's doing this for the better of your situation and the better of your family. You know what I mean? So, I was very popular doing my solo thing. You know what I mean? As a DJ, but the money wasn't lucrative and stuff like that. Anybody who's a DJ, they'll let you know how these promoters do. Right. No offense to the promoters, but at the end of the between 12 and about 3:45, you and the promoter is best friends. Yeah. After 3:45, it's like, oh, what? I ain't paying yet. Oh, how much I have here? You know what I mean? And the Jamaican promoter will be like, boy, I want to tell you that the bar never really make no money in a dance. I know you did say 3 bills, but all I want 50 am I? You know what I mean? Them kind of vibes. So and it's like you have, especially like me, if you have responsibilities such as children and stuff like that. When your kids need sneakers or whatever they need or necessities, there's nobody, you can't call the phone company and be like, listen, the promoter bar didn't sell off today, so, could you give me a break till next time? No, they don't want to hear that. They need their money. So, I had to make a transition to better my life, you know what I mean? And although I would never take back anything that I've been through. Right. Because, whatever you go through in life makes you the person that you are today, so.
I agree.
No regrets.
So what would you say you know now about the comedy industry that you wish you knew when you first started?
I mean, being funny is being funny regardless. You know what I mean? I would probably say the only thing that I didn't know just venturing out into the comedy industry was the business aspect of it. Being funny is one thing. Making people laugh is one thing, but there's behind the scenes where you have to, really do a lot of administrative work, you know what I'm saying? You got to promote yourself endlessly because nobody's going to promote you like you promote yourself.
Right.
I had to formulate a team, you know what I mean?
Right, because that was my follow-up question. Like, how do you go from Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff to actually getting money?
Well, I mean, first of all, you got to have something to offer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Either you're doing movies, films, stuff like that, and you have clientele. Because your fans, if once you get people to appreciate what you do, and you have that buzz, you have to be able to use that to your best ability. You know what I mean?
The business model has to evolve.
Exactly. I mean, you can sit on Instagram and do this all day long. Instagram does not pay you for hits. They don't pay you for likes. They don't pay you for nothing, unless you're 4 million strong or whatever, and you got a sponsorship or something like that. That's different.
Right.
But that's all part of business as well. You know what I mean? So you have to know how to transition yourself into making it work for you now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You like me personally, I've put out the work. I've done the work. I make 6, 7, 8 videos a day, daily. You know what I'm saying? So I put in the work. I paid my dues. You know what I mean? But I have more to offer than just 15-second skits.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have scripts that I wrote for movies.
You got a movie coming out. We gotta talk about that. Okay, go down the list of all the things that you do that you have coming up, and then we could talk a little bit more.
Well, of course, everybody knows I do stand-up as well. But aside from stand-up, I do act, I do direct, I do write my own scripts and stuff like that. So I have a movie that I'm going to be filming soon, a short film first.
Yeah, is this the King's movie or no? No, that's something else.
The short film is called Foreign Minds Think Alike, which is going to have all of the characters, straight comedy. It's going to be, stitches from beginning to end. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The full event, full project that we're going to be doing, the full feature is going to be all about my king, which you are speaking about.
Yeah. Which
is not much of a comedy, but it will have its, good sides and bad sides to it. I'm not really into doing much gangster stuff.
Right. We don't
you might see a gun or two in a movie, but not too much, weed selling, typical Caribbean drug dealing gangster movie. I'm not into that.
Right.
I just feel like, as far as being in America, corporate America, we need to be able to show them a different side of us other than just being a drug dealer or, some killer or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's many different sides to West Indian people than just being a drug dealer. You
right.
know what I mean?
So what would you say is the premise for both of these videos?
For my videos?
Yeah. What should people expect to see? So I know that maybe some of your characters may make an appearance.
They can expect to see me actually acting. They can expect to see that. They can expect to see a different side of what I do aside from Instagram. It's not just all jokes. You know what I mean? I have a lot of different things to offer to people, and I like to have a lesson taught in everything that I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want it to just be like, if I'm doing a comedy movie, I don't want it to just be funny.
Right.
And people don't get nothing out of it. I want there to be a message.
Right.
You know what I mean, behind everything that I do. So they could always expect to see positive. That's what they should expect. Positive. It's always going to be positive outcome out of anything that I do.
Right. I love it. And so, do you want to expand more on the storyline?
As far as
a little something to see, you didn't even think about it too long though. You're just like, no, you couldn't even entertain me a bit. See, I can't.
Because for one, like I said, there's always a business side of everything.
Right.
And just putting out your ideas like that easily like that is not always a wise thing to do.
Right.
Because even though somebody might not directly take exactly what you have, they can flip it and take ideas out of it and make it.
We don't want that to happen.
Exactly.
Where can we look forward to seeing this when this comes out? Yeah, are we gonna watch it on TV? Are we gonna go to the movies? Are we gonna watch it on our phone?
You know what? I have a lot of different situations on the table. When I finish filming, of course we're gonna have meetings and stuff like that with major networks and stuff like that. But you never know where it'll land.
Right.
You never know where it's gonna land. I'm also gonna be shooting a movie in next month, God's willing, for a big network as well. So I know that's gonna definitely be on TV. But for my projects, I'm not sure exactly where it will end up. You know.
So where's the money coming from to fund this? Because right now, like, you're basically like independent. You know, like you're giving whoever you're partnering with a finished product. It's like it's done. Now let's see who has the best offer. So how are you raising capital? How does that go?
You know, Hype Media and Films is a corporation. You know what I mean? And you know, we treat it like it's a corporation, and we treat it like it's a business. You know, we have investors, and you know, I also spend back on myself. You know, you gotta spend money on yourself to make money. You know what I mean? You can't expect people to just keep on giving you money and you're not spending none of your own money to do stuff. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's like you saying to me, listen, I want to buy a new camera, but you want me to pay for the camera all by myself. Like,
right.
No. How much do you have? I'll put something on the camera, you know what I mean? But you know, that's like saying you want $1,000 camera and say I got $400 and I need $600 to get this camera. You know what I mean? So,
and then start a crowdfund. Like people going crazy with the GoFundMe campaign.
Oh my goodness. I don't even want to speak on that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even want to speak on that one.
It's crazy, right? They taking it too far.
Yeah.
You have achieved so much success. What would you say is the career moment that you're still waiting for?
You know what? My expectations is limitless. You know what I mean? What I would like to see is, you know, for the phone to be ringing, to do some silver screen stuff. You know what I mean? Acting, and a lot of directing and stuff like that. You know, everything that people see on social media is not scripted.
I know that you shoot your own stuff. How does that even work? Because you'll be in one scene, you'll be inside the car. The next scene, you'll be crossing the street. How does that? What, like, do you got a selfie stick? You got a selfie stick?
I wish. I mean, I don't like. I've considered using a selfie stick, but then actually holding the stick and seeing the stick in your hand, it defeats the purpose. You know what I mean? It's all about, you know, the element of surprise. You know what I mean? You make it look like you're not holding the camera, but you really are. It's like, how do you do that?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, you know, I love to include our social media fans in on the fun. So we're gonna go to Instagram where we posted a question to just see what your fans want to know. We can't leave them out. You know?
Not at all. They made me who I am.
Definitely. So, okay, there are tons of questions. So much to choose from.
Let me guess.
Okay. See, I already know the answer to the burning question. You know what the burning question is. You go ahead. I'm not even gonna tell you what it is. You just talk to the people.
I don't know what the burning
You
question
do know.
What is the burning
You
question?
do
Fire.
know. What is your what's your nationality? That's what everyone wants to know.
Well, I think we basically covered that earlier.
That you're Jamaican? Or you're Guyanese?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking
See, I was trying to slip. You know, I was trying to
I mean,
catch you slipping.
I mean, you know, you could try. I mean, you know, to me, it doesn't make any. It doesn't make any situation different if I'm from anywhere. You know what I mean? My main goal is to unify, you know, the Caribbean on a whole.
Right.
Not to be judged because of where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Because people judge people for where they from.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you was to say you was from Trinidad, people would think that you party all the time.
Trini to the bone.
You know what I mean? If you say you Haitian, people gonna think you work OBL. You know what I mean? If you Jamaican, they're gonna think you smoke weed. You know, and you're a gallus. You know
right.
I mean? That's just stereotypes, and I don't like to be judged for stereotypes. So I keep that away from my name. I just like to, you know.
Okay, so you know what? Let me piggyback off of that. So Avi_DMC wants to know, is it easy for you to switch accents?
Well, of course. That's an easy thing.
You just go to school for it or no?
No, well, you know, you have to take your time and learn these kind of things, you know, because although you have the gift to do it, you understand? You still have to make sure you have the thing locked, you understand? That's how the thing goes. And don't play around with it, you understand me? See, that was too red, this game.
I love it. I love it. Consecutively. No hiccups.
No editing, no nothing.
Oh my goodness. So you basically practice a lot. Or no, it's like no, you don't practice. So it just came to you, just the ability to, you kind of like hear it and then it sticks, then you know how to spit it back out.
Well, I think it all comes from me being a musician.
Right.
You know what I mean? I play instruments by reading music and also by playing by ear.
Okay.
So anything that I'm more like a parrot.
Okay.
Anything I hear, I can mimic.
Oh, I love it. That's a nice little analogy there. So I'm gonna expand. I can't back. I'm gonna expand on cooking _ flavors question. And yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. They want to know what is touring like. But wait, before you answer that, I'm gonna make it into a double question.
Okay.
I want to know, what kind of material do you do when you go to Asia? You've been to Japan, you've been to Europe. Do they understand the West Indian stuff?
Let me explain something to you, right? Going to a country where they don't speak English, people hire you because these people obviously want to see you. Nobody's going to come to a show that nobody wants to see you.
Right.
So, and every show that we've done thus far has been sold out.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when we travel, you know, you might go to Japan and they might not speak fluent English, but they understand. Because just like how, you know, in the States, they have Spanish class, right, and they have French class. They have English class over there. It's a class that you have to pass.
I feel like even American people act like they can't understand the Caribbean accents. It's like, what?
Well, guess what? There's people from New York that don't understand how people in South Carolina talk.
That's
so
true.
I mean, there's different dialects all over the world.
Right.
But you know, to have fans across the globe, you know what I mean, it's obviously because people understand what you're saying, or they read your body language and they like, you know, they can relate to something that you do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but touring is a beautiful thing. It's, you know, it's good because you get to interact with your fans.
So, speaking of the fans, you know, the ladies, they always want to know, like, you know, you free, what's happening, what's your situation looking like?
Right now, I'm married to my career.
See, I knew it. See, I didn't want to jump the gun. I knew he was going to give me a politically correct answer.
I'm married to my career. You know what? Let me explain something to to the people that's watching.
Okay.
A lot of people tend to need someone to make them happy. Unless you're happy with yourself, you can never be happy with anybody else.
I love it. I just need you to say that one more time.
You gotta be happy with yourself and who you are, and identify yourself before you can be happy with anyone else. And right now, I'm learning myself. I'm understanding myself. You know what I mean? I'm reading a lot. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. And I'm taking my career very seriously. And I feel like I don't need any distractions right now. I think I just need to focus on what I'm doing. You know, so I can have a clear conscience and a clear mind to think about, you know, being creative for my fans. I'm obligated to my fans right now.
Right.
So I'm married to the cameras.
So you married to everybody? You married to all of us?
Oh,
we married and we even know it.
That's right.
So you recently expressed that Baltimore is your second home. Can you tell us your connection and your thoughts on the riot?
Well, a lot of my family lives there. And I lived there for a period of time, a long period of time. And I still have property and stuff like that there too as well. So, you know, I don't like to really give political answers to stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because people tend to judge you for what you really feel. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like enough is enough. You know what I mean? Enough of the violence, enough of, you know, the killings, enough of, you know, the rioting. It just all needs to be over with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna take anybody's side. I just feel like, you know, just stop killing innocent people, or, you know, be more careful with the way you conduct, you know, your duties and stuff like that, and, you know, just stop the rioting and kill. It makes no sense to mash up your own community.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I was watching CNN and it's like, I'm watching them set this CVS on fire.
Yeah.
And you could identify with them because you know that they're frustrated and upset, but at the same time, that's the same CVS that your mother might have to fill her prescription with. You know what I mean? So it's like it all needs to stop. That's just my take on it.
Is everyone that you know there okay?
Definitely.
So this whole time we spoke about, you know, your comedy and how you make us all laugh and smile. So my last question, I gotta ask about you. What makes you smile? Because you did touch on it, you know, a little bit that, you know, you're the one that is filling everyone else's cup. You know, putting that smile on their face. So who does that for you besides us? I know we have the answer somewhere.
Really and truly, you know, my family, which is my children, my mother, making my mother proud, you know, my brothers, you know, being able to my brothers and sisters being able to employ people, you know, all of them things make me happy because, you know, I'm helping out a situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm able to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people can't say that. You know what I mean? And to have currently 305,000 people watching your stuff and probably 700,000 people on Instagram, you know what I mean? I mean on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that, you know, because a lot of people that's on Instagram might not be on Facebook, and a lot of people that's on Facebook might not be on Instagram.
Right.
So I mean, in general, to have so many people appreciate what you do, you know, and to respect what you do and respect the fact that, you know, nationality really doesn't mean nothing, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're all one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And for people to really acknowledge that and realize that, you know, this is my Instagram is basically a melting pot. It's for everybody, and everybody comes on and they watch it and they laugh and they share, and that's what makes me happy.
Right.
You know, going on Instagram and scrolling down my timeline and seeing somebody that reposts my stuff is heart touching. You know what I mean? It's overwhelming. You know, but it's overwhelming in a good way. You know what I mean? For people to even be doing that because they don't have to do it.
You get a lot of love from all of your social media platforms, and then also the love that you get in person. Are you going to bring some of your music stuff, some more of your music stuff to Instagram? Because I know you can sing, I know you got a little voice, and you be trying to hold out, okay? Look for him on iTunes.
I mean, you know, music, I like to do positive music. Everything I do, I like to keep it positive.
Right.
There's a lot of positive music on YouTube. You know what I mean? I did a song called Hopeless. I got another song called We're All Alone, which I produced, that also Egyptian is on the rhythm. Munga is on the rhythm, you know what I'm saying? I
like the video for that one.
I have the music there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I do still do my music, you know, when I have my leisure time and stuff like that, because I feel like I always need to be working.
Right
around the clock. But I'm really concentrating on one thing at a time.
Right.
You know, once you're successful in one thing, then you can move on and try to venture out into different things. I mean, I might throw out a song or two or stuff like that, but to really concentrate on it right now, I'm just doing comedy right now.
So on behalf of everyone on the other side of that screen, I just want to thank you for having the courage and the perseverance to turn your passion into your career.
Definitely. I mean, you know, everything that you do comes with negativity. You know what I mean? There's always negative people out there. There's always people that won't agree with everything that you say. But at the end of the day, when the masses speak and, you know, the people appreciate what we do, that's all that's important to me. You know what I mean? And as long as I get my point across and, you know, be able to inspire people. If I get to inspire 10 people out of 5,000, I'm comfortable with that. You know what I mean? Right. So I just appreciate all the love that I've been getting. And don't forget, check out I'mSoMajah.com. That's the revamped, brand new website. It has all the videos on it. It has merchandise. You can purchase merchandise, brand new, different designs for, you know, Grandpa James, DeRoss, and, you know, different slogans and stuff like that. Also, you know, you could see the dates of where we're going to be in the months to come as well. So, you know, that's a great place to check out and see everything. It's I'm So Majah
Okay, spell it out for them. Make sure that they know where to go.
imsomajah.com.net. Whatever you want to put in, that's what it is.
It's going to take you to the same place.
It's going to be right there. So make sure you check out the website. Also, I just want to say thanks to the team and thanks to the fans. Hype Media, Hearts of Comedy, the non-profit foundation. Helping people in the community and stuff like that.
You don't talk about that too much. Like, we see it all the hashtags, Hearts of Comedy.
I don't really talk about it that much because for one, I don't want people to feel like I'm looking for a handout. I'm very blessed to be able to make a certain amount of money and do what I do. So I feel like it's my necessary duty to give back to who can't do for themselves. And the children is one of the most important things to me.
Right.
I mean, children, autistic children with cancer,
right.
Children with sickle cell anemia, all these children that was born this way and subjected to these things. I think that if their parents don't have coverage and stuff like that,
right.
we that are more fortunate than them should step up and help them out.
So is this your organization?
Yes.
Hearts of Comedy?
Yes.
And so basically, just explain a little bit more about it. So you take money and you donate it to hospitals or?
Hospitals, different organizations, once it's, it's
you
legit.
Find the ones that you think are
once
fit.
It's legit,
yeah.
And we give back to, different countries as well as not only the United States, there's also, the West Indies, different schools, in any way that we can help a negative situation become positive. That's what we give back to.
I love it. So as he said, don't forget to go to imsomajah.com to get all your merchandise. Keep up to date with where you're seeing him next. And if you guys enjoyed this interview as much as I did, I need you to let me know what I need you to like, I need you to comment, and I need you to subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Can I make a comment?
Yes, make a comment.
I'm an old man with a bottle full of pills. I like it. That's it.
Thank you for sharing with us.
They call me Blue Boy, yeah? Blue Boy.
You gonna say your name for the people?
I am Grandpa James, aka the Super Commissioner, and you are?
Neffy Anderson with the Path Less Traveled series.
And that is what we're doing, we're traveling.